I don't understand the planes. Oh, you're saying that magnetic thing just sucks the plane in?
Well, apparently so. Yeah, it's like the same reason why ships get sucked in.
How how deep? Brandon, are you autistic? It's meant to be spooky. Let's cut all this out.
No, surely not.
So,
Alright,
get ready.
I guess I'm your muscle. Where's the lighter?
Later.
Does anyone know what happened to that ship?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. It's not under my chin.
What are you looking for?
Did you just kiss my back?
2 seconds into the video.
I didn't.
2 seconds.
No, I didn't know. I said it.
How are we going to introduce?
Ah! I just burnt my leg.
Ah, my jeans burn.
No.
Make sure you're.
Welcome back to Sketch Game on Sketch. Today on the eve of Halloween, I brought me and my friends, Sam, Megan, and Akin. In today's video, we're going to be going over some spooky conspiracies, stories, whatever you want.
Yep.
We're going to start with Akin today, who's got the weird, what about?
The Bermuda Triangle.
And then we're going to go through, or like just all talk of why it ain't true, or why it is true. Alright, don't forget like subscribe below, boys.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the Bermuda Triangle today and why I think it's real.
Wait. First thing you took. I'm alcoholic.
So, first of all, the Bermuda Triangle is located in the Atlantic Ocean.
You know what? I actually never knew where it was actually at. It
Oh,
could have been in my back garden right now. I don't know.
Most of the disappearances are near Florida. Pretty much every year, ships and planes go missing. There's a special case in 1945 where a group of planes disappeared.
Planes.
Yeah, like 20 of them. 20 planes disappeared.
How does a plane disappear?
Yeah,
literally.
How does a plane disappear, let alone 20 of them?
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, they were supposed to land. Where was it?
But did they crash or did they just disappear?
Oh, apparently disappeared because they were supposed to, well, there was a training routine, right? They were going through the Bermuda Triangle. And when they went into that triangle, all the communication was cut, like compasses gone, everything gone. And so they were supposed to land like 30 minutes from there, but then they came back. They were supposed to be coming back like 45 to an hour later on, but they never did. And when they, obviously, in the tower, tried to communicate with the planes, like, pilots, they didn't respond. And just never come back.
You know what's even more spooky? How this fucking kid functions. I don't understand the planes go missing. Because there's some freaky stories about planes.
Well, see, scientists said, they were, well, the scientists haven't answered that. They're saying the volcanic ash from the seabed.
Yeah, but they 20 planes have gone.
Oh, I know, literally. They're saying that a drag, like, the weird magnetic
Well, the
force-
one with the boats is that the volcanic eruptions and stuff causes gas bubbles and then swallows the boats.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree the boats go missing. There's
Yeah.
gas bubbles and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds legit. But
Yeah.
the planes, I still don't get. Ash clouds?
Pretty much, the magnetic field, apparently, like, there's a magnet thing.
Is
the
a
ash-
magnet thing?
Yeah, like from the sea.
There's always a magnet
How
thing.
big?
Yeah, there's
How
a-
big's the magnet thing?
How big's the
It's
magnet?
pretty big.
Hey, that's pretty But these gas bubbles can be like 1 mile wide, or
Yeah.
even more.
And apparently they have like this weird thing about them that drags planes boats
Yeah.
down. Yeah, so I don't,
How deep?
deep, yes, I don't exactly know the deepness, but I
He
know
hasn't
it's
been in
pretty
there
deep. But the thing that I can say is,
4 square miles.
there's another story about people traveling in time. So apparently, like they're supposed to go.
That's, yeah, I've heard some stuff
So
like
they're
that.
supposed to land in an hour, but they land in 20 minutes. So it's like a time warp thing. I don't know.
Time is relative.
It's funny, someone like was flying over the Bermuda Triangle, and they went into this weird cloudy, misty thing. It was like a
Yeah.
hole
Like
or
something out of the
something.
sci-fi
They
show.
always
Yeah.
say it's like a thick fog,
Yeah, it's like a.
and like it becomes almost like invisible to see anything.
Yeah.
Like it just becomes like everything goes like dark and almost like
You almost
like
had
you're
it.
in a black room, like a space that you just can't see anything. And once you go into it, everything starts, like obviously you lose your compasses and
Yeah.
your electronics and stuff like that because it's basically just like a void.
Yeah.
But it's not the only place in the world where it happens, but
No.
it's just, there's a lot of activity.
It's almost like a liminal space.
Yeah.
Like something that's similar to the back rooms, but it's more like just a space and time rather than like a physical room.
Yeah, but there's weird shit that goes on there. Like, you know Hangman's Hill, like when you go on it backwards and it just slowly takes you up like you put in the foot.
It's an optical illusion.
Yeah, that, I would say that's more.
That's not an optical illusion.
It's more
fucking real.
explained than the Bermuda.
I mean, it's not an optical
No,
illusion if
it's-
it's physically happening to you,
No,
is
so
it?
basically the tectonic plates are a bit weird. So when you go on that hill backwards, or without even pressing your foot on the gas, it just takes you up the hill. because of the
Oh,
plates.
when it's going uphill, but a car will like
Yeah.
reverse uphill
Yeah.
with no engine on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Hangman's Hill.
but that, I think that's more of an optical illusion.
How is that
Because-
an optical illusion? The fucking car is
No,
moving.
but basically it's a hill that goes downwards, but it's an optical illusion that makes it look like it's going uphill.
It is
But it's
going
not. It's a
No.
downhill. It's
Yeah.
downhill.
Sure.
Uh huh. It's quite a lot of them around the world. Basically, it's a hill that goes down at
That's
such
just
a
like-
slow
that's like-
rate
this-
that
this
it's
is
almost
about-
optical illusion that's flicked.
As a friend, do not go to the Bermuda Triangle. It's not an optical illusion. You'll die. Okay. Do you know what the weirdest thing is disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle? Apart from planes, boats, or like weird.
Bisexual connection.
No, usually boats and planes really.
Boats and planes.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything
What about
weird
any
or
fishes?
unusual.
People have survived it.
Yeah.
People have said like, let's just try and sell for it for a joke. They go through it, come out and say that it was nothing.
Another name
Yeah.
for it is Devil's Trunk, because they
Yeah.
relate to like somehow the devil have something to do with it.
There's satanic stuff. There are loads
Yeah.
of groups as well.
What about all the fishing out that goes through?
Exactly.
What
What
was
about?
that?
I heard that a submarine like this, isn't it? Bermuda?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I heard of
So
that. Yeah.
planes, boats, now
What
submarines.
does government? This is
I don't know where it goes. This is what I'm saying. It must go
It's
somewhere.
fucking China.
Yeah, it just sinks down literally.
But it's a submarine. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
People also say that it's to do with like currents,
Mm-hmm.
and that when things sink or go into the water, the currents are very strong and they take them.
Yeah, that could be rationally explained. Like,
What?
Exactly.
What if it's where all the oceans meet? Because it is where they all meet, almost, isn't it? I'm
Is
pretty
it?
sure. It's like a triangle where they all.
I'm gonna put up a
join
map right now of what
Well,
the ocean
there's
looks
another
like. It
way.
looks
What
like.
if, what if it's just like a giant whirlpool? When anything that goes into it gets sucked into it.
This is
and
not
goes under.
fucking Pirates of the
And pulls
Caribbean.
it under.
By the way, there's another triangle near Japan.
Is there another triangle?
Yeah, same one, literally.
Yeah.
near Japan.
It's not as big,
Where's
but
always
it's.
a triangle?
Yeah, why is it always a triangle? He's right.
Exactly.
Why can't it be a circle?
Because a triangle is the strongest shape.
No, it's fucking not. What about a
Is it?
decagon?
No, it's proven a triangle is the strongest shape in the
Well,
world.
it's got 3 points and I've only got
Why
one.
do you think the pyramids have survived so long?
The pyramids, triangle, Bermuda Triangle is connected.
Illuminati confirmed.
Right.
So to sum it all up, the Bermuda Triangle is a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
I'll give it like a 2 out of 5 sketch. I don't know if it's like Bigfoot where it's well known, but a lot can be explained away.
By scientific.
Yeah, by
information,
scientific
yeah.
evidence, like. But the planes go missing, and the submarine one I heard about, that's pretty weird.
People are arriving usually earlier than they're supposed to be.
And the time thing is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a mystery.
Whereabouts is it again?
Yeah,
Atlantic. Is it Atlantic?
Yeah, near Florida, pretty much.
So it's
Just
just
connects
like
Florida,
Atlantic,
then you've
it's
got
up
like Bermuda Island. You've got like the
Does it go to
Bahamas.
Puerto Rico or
Yeah,
down there Mexico?
it pretty much is near there, yeah.
Yeah.
But not near, like near Jamaica.
Cuba and
Yeah, but
Yeah,
just
that
think
way,
of all the
yeah.
buried treasures that are down there.
Exactly. You know what? 20 planes have gone missing. Do you know how much money you could make fixing those babies up?
Not even just
Yeah,
that,
if you
No,
survive it.
They were supposed to be going in like a World War II aircraft. These were like.
I heard
They
that.
should
Yeah.
try and make a
They
giant.
don't have compasses well.
Yeah, they should try and make a giant.
They,
triangle.
they tried using the old technology to like.
The weird thing is
Look,
they
look
don't
what's in
found.
there. It might not be a hole in the earth. It might just be.
No, if it's a
He's
triangle.
saying that they should just build a giant triangle and just plug it up.
Well, well,
It
there
could
you
work.
have it.
No, it would
2023.
disappear.
We all go on a voyage to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Oh, that's
for
in
all
my
the
life,
buried
then, isn't it?
treasure.
Yeah, I'll be dead.
I'm not risking it all for something so goddamn.
It could be Somalian pirates.
Exactly.
We don't know
Wait,
what
do
they
they
That's
survive?
very far from Somalia.
What would you do
Yeah.
if you put a boatload of Somalians?
It could be
Could that suck them up?
Cuban
Well,
pirates.
it might take them off though.
Alright, so I'll finish on note. That was Atkins' Bermuda Triangle.
Yep.
I don't know, I don't feel it's scary or spooky, but it's definitely a weird one. It's the most known conspiracy out there other than Bigfoot and,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, tonight's not all about conspiracies, but that's one that Atkins just want to talk about. Alright, what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a yeah from Brandon. What would you guys think?
The thing is, I don't know. I think the Bermuda Triangle is a thing as itself, but obviously no one will ever physically know what it is. You know,
We
So
could
it could be,
figure
it
out.
could be an
No, I don't believe
anomaly. It could be a
No.
magnetic field that causes disruption and.
Well, there's loads of volcanic
Yeah.
activity
The
around.
thing is, right, if you're right, it's in the middle of nowhere,
Get
yeah.
an indestructible bit of glass.
No, no,
put
no,
a
no,
GoPro inside of it, on a fucking really high cable.
No,
don't
right,
get in there.
listen,
See what the
listen,
fuck
right,
is in there.
my-
I'm with that. I'm with that. Just put a GoPro in a box.
They know what's down there.
A
They're keeping
GoPro
it.
in a box sorts everything out.
No,
it
I
doesn't.
guarantee
You can't get the GoPro back.
I don't
Yes,
know.
you can,
I don't know
fucking yank it
what.
up.
I don't know what this kid does when he goes to the bathroom. But if you put a GoPro in a box, under the
You'll
door-
find out.
The weird
Right.
thing is,
To be honest, they probably already know
So,
what's down there. They're
so
not
my
saying it.
explanation is.
Oh
right,
wait, that goes in the conspiracy. So you think there's like government activity down there?
No, it's not. I mean, they could be, but at the end of the day, they probably know what's down there and what's causing it, but they ain't gonna
What?
release it because if people knew, they could do something.
I want to do some Nautica right there.
Well, say if it's like a dangerous thing, like if someone impacted or something.
They wouldn't tell
something.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, and like say if someone dropped like a nuke there, right, but they knew it could happen and it exploded and it could fuck up like, the whole wave system, they wouldn't release that information because they're mortified by stuff. Done. That's it, game over.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's some kind of magnetic field anomaly, yeah. That basically, the thing is, if you're on a ship in the middle of nowhere, yeah, you've got no hang on.
Yeah, but just remember that all the trajectory and like the equipment doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying. So if it was a magnetic anomaly,
See you
anomaly, if it's a magnetic anomaly, then nothing would work in there. So if you're in a ship, right, in a modern day ship that's powered by electronics, yeah, the ship comes to a standstill in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle because the electronics don't work. There's no communication because of the magnetic field. You're stranded in the middle of the ocean. You're not going to survive long enough to be in a rowboat to get out of it because you die of starvation before you get out of the triangle. That's why no one's ever made it out because
No, they have
well,
made
they
it.
have. And
only
you know what's weird?
a very few amount of
No,
people.
no, no. A lot of people go there for fun.
You wouldn't
Some
fucking
things
starve in
don't
there.
know-
There's
yeah.
fish.
This is why this is why it kind of falls down because a lot of people in today's like in 2022 by the early 2000s a lot of people survived it and said it was fine.
Some people say there's like an entity or something underneath.
It goes down the supernatural route to
Yeah.
the route where we
Kraken.
can't. Yeah, people believe that there's a crack in there. People believe
Yeah.
that like the government.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
It could be anything, to be honest. We'll never know. At the end of the day, we think that the Bermuda Triangle is a real thing scientifically because things have happened there and
Yeah.
we've proven that.
I
right?
don't think there's something weird going.
Well,
Well, there
I
is something
don't-
weird going on, but I
I
think we can
don't-
explain it.
I don't necessarily think it's supernatural. I think it's more natural phenomenon. You know,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
think
sweet.
it's anything supernatural.
Yeah.
Like I know they call it Devil's Triangle, but I don't think there's demons in there that like.
Oh,
make
I'm
you
gonna
kill-
sink you, boat.
Make you kill yourself or kill everyone on board a boat or a plane. You know.
I'm not all about that now.
So I think it's more of a natural anomaly.
Volcanic eruptions and stuff, pretty good. But I still don't understand. I mean, I can say about that ash clouds and the planes going missing, but that still mind boggles
Yeah,
me.
but that because.
How do you lose
So
a plane?
they've already proven that there's a active volcano inside the Bermuda Triangle under the water.
Oh, there's
yeah?
like 20.
Right. So
Okay.
that could be the smog, as people describe it, like it's like a really thick fog. Yeah.
What's he saying? Oh.
Right. So the smog could be created
Do you mind?
by volcanic ash being released from the ocean, like the smoke, and
Yeah.
it's so thick and dense that that's what causes. Because also, if you don't realise that during volcanic explosions, they can cause magnetic disturbances as well.
Would
cause
tectonic plates or
technological-
whatever, yeah.
Seismic.
So it could be a volcano in the middle of it that's causing all the electronic malfunctions and the fog that you see around, you know, inside it. It could just be an active volcano, but no one's been able to get close enough to do.
But
research
is there
on it.
is there a lot of land around it? Or
No,
just
it's
sea?
just ocean.
Well, it's about like the Bermuda Triangle is about I don't know 150 miles across.
Yeah,
That's a lot of sea.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If you broke down in the middle of it, like something stopped, like your ship stopped working, there's no way you're going to be able to just row out of that.
No.
You'll die of starvation. The thing is, right?
But where's the current?
How are you going to catch fish?
Spearfish.
Yeah, where are you getting a spear from?
Bermuda Triangle,
You're
that's
you're fucking very fish.
When you walk into the
Like-
Bermuda Triangle, they give you a survival kit, a spear and a piece of string to
But
catch
what's
fish.
what are the currents like? Is it like?
Oh, it's quite rough out there. Like, the
But is there ever
sea-
tsunamis and stuff?
I don't think so. They never record anything like that.
You know how like the
Scary.
Bermuda Triangle like constantly like pulling people in? What if you just sat just on the outside?
It doesn't
Like,
pull
would it just be
people
normal?
in. People
Okay,
go
right,
in.
box.
Brandon, people don't get pulled into it. They go into it themselves by
Yes.
mistake
So
because
right.
nobody actually knows where it starts. They've done a rough estimation.
No,
of
know
they
where it
think
starts
is.
and ends.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what
okay.
if you sat just on the edge of it? Would it just be like normal then?
Yeah. The demons waiting. That's what this is what I'm saying. If you sat on the edge of it, or you got to put a GoPro in a box, where does it like on the start? Is it just calm water and then like you look to your right and it's just What's going on?
No.
That's in my mind. That's how I'm
Yeah,
picturing
exactly.
it. Like,
No.
it's just a triangle in the
Right.
ocean.
Do you know what it would be like, right? It would be like you're on a clear ocean, and the closer you get to it, it seems as though, you know when you wake up, when you go down like the beach, and it's really foggy out onto the sea, it would be like you're sailing along, and then like a fog.
So in other words,
is
it's just
in
a
the
fucking
distance,
giant fog
and
triangle.
you're obviously going to the fog, and then it become really thick.
Yeah.
Because you think, right, if it is a volcano, right, the cloud area would only be so wide,
People
so it would be like almost going into like a storm when you're up in the clouds driving a plane.
people report that
Yeah.
it's quite clear, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's
It's like-
a smog that comes
Yeah,
over.
it's like when they have storms on Mars, they'll be fine, then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere. kind
Oh,
of
we've
thing.
been there.
No. Right, so
To sum it all up, Bermuda Triangle, pretty sketchy, but it's not that sketchy.
it's probably just a natural
I'd say
phenomenon.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5 sketch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2 out
I
of 5.
think it's more funny than scary.
I'd say 3.
Yeah,
I
on
would
Yeah,
say
three. On a scare basis, it's about a 3 because it's you can deal with it because you know it
I would,
exists.
I would
but it's
almost
still
say a
that
3,
one bit
but
that
you could
gets
explain a lot of stuff away with science and.
But my viewpoint is, if you were in that situation where you were in the Bermuda Triangle, it would be quite scary. It's not like there's a
Yeah.
murderer outside your door that's going to kill you, but it's...
There could be, it's the
However-
Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
What if you had a life jacket?
Right. So
You ain't sinking.
Okay, so my one is Mary Celeste. Do you guys know what it is?
Yeah, I know.
You've heard about it?
Yep.
You? No? Have you?
I know a lot of things
No?
about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so only Atkins heard about this conspiracy, which is probably one of my favourites because it just
Definitely
sticks
one
out
of
with
my
being
favourites
weird.
too, Definitely mine too.
It's like unexplained.
It's after my the pass, definitely second.
Yeah.
Second best.
So I can't remember the timestamp. I'm 4 beers down, but what's
Yeah.
the timestamp? Is it in like the 18 to 1900s? I think it is. By the way, when you picture this, don't picture like a modern boat. It's like a pirate ship.
Yeah, it's like a boat
Yeah.
with yeah.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
old cargo ship that they used to sell mead and there's stuff in the cargo.
Well, now
Indeed.
The thing is, do you know that story when the ship was actually delivered to the people who went missing?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
same one. The same. Apparently, it's connected with their.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, apparently, oh man.
All right, so the Mary Celeste, an old cargo boat in the early 18 or even late 1900s.
I haven't really checked the timestamp.
I can't either, but
Yeah.
I'll probably put it up right here. There you go. All right, so the Mary Celeste was just a trading boat, right? There was this past where I can't remember. Don't fact check me on this because I'm a little bit drunk and I can't remember.
Yeah.
There's a route that no one wanted to do because it was so far. You have to basically be with a team for a few months to get to where you're going. If you're selling, if you're trading, loads of lines. But apparently this team went out on a cruise, never to be seen again. It was the last time they was going to be seen from the port. Now again, I can't remember where the port was or where it was. I'll probably put it up right here. Megan, shut up. And then, so I don't know how long, but they found the boat completely empty, but there was hot tea. The stove was on.
Oh, I had it. And it was like they
There
just
was
left.
there was a fire going. They found the boat in perfect condition, so no one was
Wasn't
found
the engine
out
still
in the sea.
running?
No such thing.
No, so they didn't have engines back then, Sam.
No,
we
they
just
would've- no, they
specified.
would have had a coal powered engine.
No, no, no.
It's a sailboat.
Yeah, it's a
What?
sailboat.
What? Basically, they were never seen again. They found the boat on Passar. I don't know if he was trading or what, or if it was just like a civilized guy. But
Yeah.
they found the boat. They found this boat fit the description of the Mary Celeste that went missing. That's why it's so popular, because there was no foul play. There was no like broken wood, where there was no food on the floor. There was nothing. Nothing
There
was broken.
No broken.
They just
wood.
abandoned ship.
There was no broken wood. It was just abandoned, but with one life raft gone. So all the other lifeboats were there, except for one lifeboat.
Where did they go?
They were in the middle of the sea, no foul play, nothing broken.
Maybe a
There
sick
was still hot tea and basically on the stove, drinks and food. So they wasn't gone long. But a whole family and a whole crew of people apparently got onto one lifeboat.
What about mermaids?
Well, we'll get into that in a second. But
It's
it's
funny
people
because it was found years later on, wasn't it?
years later, it's
And
so
there was
long.
hot tea on there.
Yeah.
So they must have been missing like years.
Apparently, they found the note. You know the notebook
Oh yeah.
of where the captain's log. The captain always logs down, in the notes and stuff of what's happened. There was no notes of like foul play. Oh, there's a giant kraken. There's mermaids.
What's there like?
We're sinking. We can't get all the cargo to the place we're getting it to, or anything like that. There was literally 4 days before they went missing. There was nothing in the logs. but there was still hot food and tea, and no foul play recorded when they found the ship. And this was an expensive ship. This is not one ship you want to just lose.
Yeah.
Because back in the 1800s, 1900s, you don't want to lose a giant ship
No.
that can trade.
A merchant
carry
ship.
a merchant ship.
Yeah,
It's
and
still
it's
around
made of wine as well, isn't it?
Huh?
Is it still around that?
Good question. I don't know if it's still around. I haven't looked into it. If you guys want to look into it and look around, if the Mary Celeste is still around, or if they, you know, like
Decommissioned it.
decommissioned it or anything like that,
It could be in a museum.
could be in a museum. But I don't think it would be. It's too far back.
It reminds me of that lighthouse story back in 1901,
Yeah,
where all those people just disappeared.
it's just
Wasn't there a flight like that as well? Looking out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why the Mary Celeste to me was a creepy place in my heart, because that is it's not explained.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they got on the lifeboat and the dinghy, and a lot of people thought it was insurance fraud. They was trying to get insurance from the actual the boat that was on the giant ship
Yeah.
to get insurance and get money back. But where would they have gone, and how would they have survived with provisions and the crew and stuff?
Mm.
And again, there was a fire going. They had hot food.
So like,
No one knows where they went.
Disappeared.
They've never found them.
Nothing was found.
The crew
They
was
never found the lifeboat, they never found the crew.
They never found the lifeboat. They never found the crew. They never found the crew. Is in fact that.
Did they have a look under the water where it was found?
They searched.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh,
where
they
they
searched
found the
everywhere.
The thing is, no one knows the exact position where the boat was.
Yeah,
when they
so
disappeared.
they don't know the exact position where it took place, like the seizing. A lot of people think it's pirates because there was valuable cargo and stuff, but none of it was taken. So why would pirates go onto a ship,
There was a lot of
kill a
wine.
bunch of crew, put them in the water and drown them,
What about
and then just
cannibals?
leave?
And there
they
were
could have
barrels of
kidnapped
wine.
them. They could have taken
Hey,
them.
Yeah.
what about cannibals?
Yeah.
How would they have got out into the middle of the sea?
They don't
In a
leave-
boat?
They won't leave the island though.
Wait,
Yeah, they wouldn't
Yeah,
leave the
wait,
island.
hang on a minute. What if a boat pulled up next to them and just tied them up and then brought them on board and let them
Oh.
took on the lifeboat?
There's speculation where the boat was sinking, or something happened, they got lost, and another boat came by, picked all the happy family up, the crew, everything. There's more than 20 people on this boat. And Bob's your uncle. It's a clear story. But none of these people have been found. It's not like they've been found on off a coast or on islands living happily.
They were never found dead or alive.
They were never found dead or alive. They just went missing on this pirate
It's
ship.
like those missing World War I stories.
Yeah.
And they're in the mountains and just disappeared.
Just gone.
It's weird because the thing is, you can say anything about it. You can say the UFOs. You can say it's,
People speculate if it's aliens, pirates, mermaids. But again, if it was mermaids or pirates and stuff like that, there would have been foul play
It's not
evidence.
Kraken,
The
because
people
boats
say
have
the
cameras.
Kraken or a giant squid came on board, stuck
They would damage the
their
boat.
foot off.
Can I just say that squids are the worst and weirdest creatures, like the giant
They are
squid.
intelligent,
Well,
really
squids.
intelligent.
Imagine you're in the middle of the sea, yeah, on a cruise ship, and you know when you've got one of them porthole windows, imagine you see a
Tentacles.
fucking giant squid and just the tentacles.
I tell you what, Pirates of the Caribbean with the Kraken and stuff, I love that film.
Yeah.
It's so creepy. But there was no foul play and nothing recorded of a Kraken. I mean, squids are smart. They once tagged a squid. Basically, they can see the temperature change in the tag. So if I tagged you, the temperature would be I don't know. I don't know what the normal human body temperature is.
37 degrees.
If it's 37 or 40, yeah, it was around 37 or 40.
Yeah.
But this squid dived down so fast. They've done this to sharks as well, and their temperature suddenly rises to 70. Do you know what that means? That boy's been eaten. The tag's inside another animal. And this squid
Oh my God.
went down to depths, and something ate a 60-foot squid. They don't know why. It's so creepy. But obviously this coincides a little bit with Mary Celeste because we've gone off topic talking about squids. But yeah, there was no squids, there was no kraken, there was no pirates. People, again,
You know what?
the thing I believe most would be the insurance fraud.
There's another
Yeah.
thing I believe. You know that story? You know that time where I told you about the story in Nevada?
But I don't even think insurance was a thing back in the 1800s.
Well, yeah, of course it was.
Yeah, it was.
Mate, people, there was so many ships being sunk and being recorded insurance-wise, even houses. People have been burning down houses and stuff to cheat insurance for ages.
Yeah.
It's only just been since the 21st century and stuff been fixed because now I can't just burn down the house and get a payout. The way they measure the chemicals. Like they know if it's been an electrical fire.
Yeah.
They know down to the T where
Yeah,
the fire.
they can look at a plug
started.
socket and see
Yeah.
by how it's melted if it was started at that plug socket or if it was caused by the fire itself.
It's crazy when you look into it because it's it's hard.
Yeah.
So the Mary Celeste conclusion. We've all had a pee. We're all feeling good. What do you guys think? What about you, Akin?
I haven't
Mary
seen you
Celeste.
guys.
Nothing can happen.
Yeah.
Nothing can be. I mean, it can be explained to a point where it's more believable. Like
So are you asking if I believe in it, the whole situation, or?
well, just the whole situation.
Yeah. Also, I'll give it a good 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be true. It could be more
Doesn't
than.
really do it for me. It's not even that scary. I'm saying that's good.
It's not that it's scary. It's just the unknown.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
really
it's just
eerie.
it's
It's not
yeah,
scary,
it's
it's eerie.
weird. But at the end of the day, if you found that shit, bro, you're all fucking millionaires. So it's class. You know what I mean?
Too much I'm ruining if we have the same fate
Bro,
as those
if
people.
I found that ship, just sat
Where
there
did
with tea on there,
but where did those people go? Where did the crew go?
mate, I wouldn't give a shit. I was making millions.
Right, that's Brandon's side. Where you guys? Aliens, mermaids, pirates, kraken. It's all ruled out.
I think it's between a 3 and a 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah. It's not the perfect scary story because it can't be explained like it was a murder or anything like that, you know.
Could be.
Or it was never proven that it was like some creepy aliens or something. It was just a mystery disappearance. And it's the aesthetic behind the fact that they
It could have
disappeared
happened in
that
the
makes it-
Triangle. It's all well-rounded.
Is your story?
It's going straight back to
The
the.
Philadelphia experiment shoot. It also happened in the Bermuda Triangle. And also all those other things. This is all connected. All these stories. Is connected.
It's all connected.
And
Alright,
there's a
well.
forest in the ship. So that's
Forest and shit, yeah. Right, so our next story, we've done the Bermuda Triangle. The next one's going to be
bet
Megan's.
you would.
What's Megan's about?
So I think I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide whether it's true or not. And
Alright.
some of you are going to know the answer to this, but we'll see. I'll start off reading the story, and we'll see where it takes us. I'm going to call this story the Winter Walk, because it took place during winter time.
And it's a walk.
And it was a walk. Right. One autumn evening, late in winter, my friends and I were going on a walk in the wooded area by my house. It's well known to the community that you should never walk the trails at night. Over the years, many stories have circulated the town, stories of unembodied voices and screams, people claiming to see shadow figures by the pond, and animals being found dismembered on the green.
Ooh.
Despite this, we decided that the 4 of us were going to set out on a walk through the woods. We stopped to sit down on a wooden platform that extended into the pond, and by this time it was starting to get very, very dark.
You know, those wooden platforms are good for fishing.
They very much are good for fishing. One of our friends who knows the area well begins to tell us a story that he's heard about a creature that lives in the woods. He tells us that the creature is tall, hunched over, and hides in the trees. It can be heard growling in the bushes and mimicking the sounds of passers-by chatting on their journey home. My friends and I were sceptical. We laughed about the silly tale. A creature like this couldn't hide in plain sight in these woods, could it? The woods,
I think it could, no.
I don't think it could.
I mean,
If there's a large
Skinwalker?
mythical creature to
yeah. That's what kind of falls flat on me. This is why Bigfoot's my least favourite. I mean, it's well known. But the technology we have today, I don't know if the creature could. I don't know.
I mean, it could
Bigfoot's fucking
shapeshift into like animals that live in the woods overnight,
Yeah.
things like that. But I don't know. The woods began to fall silent, and slowly as the conversation died down, we all began to notice this too. As we looked out over the dark, murky water on the pond, we heard a sound far in the woods, like something was walking around in the dark.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We were alone in the woods, just the 4 of us. By this time, it was getting late, and an unsettling feeling began to creep in. We heard more and more noises periodically, but we shrugged it off as just woodland animals, or maybe somebody was walking through. We were getting ready to leave when we heard a loud growl from the bushes behind us. We all froze. What was that? We all looked at each other in the cold silence of the woods. We all were looking around, searching for the source of the sound. We were all very confused.
As you would be.
I looked out into the trees, and a tall, dark creature stood on the other side of the pond. My eyes stayed fixed on it, until a guttural scream filled the air around us, and we all ran as fast as we could out of the woods. We walked straight back to my house without exchanging a word. To this day, none of us knew what we heard that night or what we saw. And one thing is for sure, none of us ever walked through that woods alone at night.
So this is a classic spooky story of something you hear when there's a campfire going with marshmallows.
Yep. I thought it would be really good and very fitting for this.
I don't know.
As far as I can say, it wasn't really classified as Bigfoot, right?
No, it's not Bigfoot. It's
No,
more
no.
of a
No. It's more of like,
more of a creature.
I'd say
I mean, Bigfoot's a creature, but
it's more of like a banshee or like something
The Flatwood Monster.
like a
yeah.
like a mythical creature, I'd say.
It reminds me of that story they were telling back in Texas, where they found all these cows mutilated.
Yes.
Like all cut off and
Yeah.
like.
Skinwalker Ranch.
No, apparently, like,
Yeah, but is that what happens around that area?
Maybe.
apparently, like, the blood was all drained. The body was just left there.
What, in the same area? Or
Yeah,
Texas?
always, mate.
What, Texas?
Yeah, and
Oh.
apparently it spread
Oh,
around.
nice, yeah.
It started in Texas, spread around, all around, like other counties and
Maybe
states.
someone just got hungry.
What, and wanted the blood and nothing else?
Yeah, literally.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Look, like, if you're draining blood from wild stock, you got problems.
Yeah, they needed a blood bag.
Do we believe that the story is true?
No.
I mean, look, evolutionary wise, stories and that stuff that goes bump in life, we're always scared of it, you know, because it's the dark. What's in the dark is more scarier.
Yeah.
It's not the dark scary as a
Yeah.
child, it's what's in there.
I think so.
I think you can tell that story to anyone
Yeah,
and they can relate to it in some way.
that's true.
I fucking hate the dark.
You hear that?
Bro, if I'm walking and someone's behind me, instant stop story.
Yeah.
Don't get
I remember when I was like 10 years old and I'd
What,
like,
in
go down
evolution
for a
now?
drink.
Yeah.
I'd turn the lights off on purpose to think I'm a hard man. But I'd shit myself.
And then instantly put 'em back on again.
Yeah, run away. I'll tell you an elite story that kind of links with the same one. Me and Akin was flying a drone. It was late at night.
Yeah.
It landed in the graveyard.
Oh yeah.
Petri.
So I have to go get my ass, drag myself into this graveyard and pick up the drone. And I don't know why. It was a pear tree graveyard, so it's not a big graveyard. It's just a graveyard on the hill.
Probably
It's
homes about 100 people.
It's like a 300-year-old graveyard, probably
Yeah.
even longer. But I had to like go in there, find this drone that I paid like £100 for, like unsheath it from the goddamn vines, like as a tripod
Wait,
right
in the
me.
vines?
Yeah, it was all tangled up, and then I had to run out, and for some reason, I just felt like I was gonna die. Me and Akin, I hopped the fence, not knowing there was a gate right next to it.
Yeah.
It's like mallets, isn't it?
Pure fear.
Yeah,
makes
you,
you-
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's instinct.
No,
I think I'm
when
gonna
you're in a
put it down to
graveyard-
instinct. So the same as that story.
When you're in a graveyard at night, so you can feel the mallets.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel the fucking red and like everything. That's weird. And then you just have that instinct feeling to get out.
Yeah. Either way, creatures in the dark. It depends what they are.
I would never walk through a woods alone at night. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
If you're if I was in that woods, that's
I don't
knowing
care.
that story.
If someone says
It'll
it's
creep me
safe,
out.
I don't give a shit. I'm not walking through that
Yeah,
woods.
exactly.
I'm going around the woods.
And we live in the UK, so we know there's something in there other than wildlife.
And it's not crackhead pee.
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I'm more 50-50 on the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And let me get these flames going again.
Well, I guess while Sam gets the fire going, we'll start the next story. But that one, I think it's more. It plays on the fears of the individual.
Yeah. And I think when there's more of you, you kind of freak each other out by going.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2 again.
Yeah, I think.
Mate,
it's a
actually
bit-
not. I'm gonna go 3.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, but then again, it is quite spooky. The fact that you don't know what you're in this closed space with. It's the
That's what
fear
I'm
of the
saying.
unknown. That's what it is.
You enjoying that?
And now I can put the fan on it.
The autism sets in.
Alright, I'll tell you what, yeah. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 5 sketch.
So,
Alright, next up we got Sam's story of how he got chlamydia.
never happened.
It's
Okay,
like
the story I'm going to be telling is about a ship called the USS Eldridge.
Oh.
And it's known as the Philadelphia experiment.
I know this one.
So, many people might know about this. Maybe
This
not.
one's, again, I guess you could say it's kind of like the Bermuda one because there's loads of weird like conspiracy around it, yeah.
So, the Philadelphia experiment was an alleged event claimed to have been witnessed by an merchant mariner named Carl M. Allen.
Here's a
of
picture of Alan.
United States.
Here's a picture of the United
Navy's-
States.
Navy's Philadelphia Naval Shipyard in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sometime around late October, in about 1943, Allen described an experiment where the US Navy attempted to render a ship almost invisible,
Okay.
and it was an effort to...
And by the way, it was Einstein's, like, not his theory, but it was his experiment, right?
Yeah, so basically they were trying to find ways, during the Second World War, the Americans were trying to find ways
How to hide a
making
ship.
camouflage
Yeah.
for ships against German ships and submarines and stuff like that. So they created an experiment which they called the Philadelphia experiment, which is where they strapped hundreds, if not thousands, of these magnets to a ship. And when they turned it on, the magnetic field was so strong it rendered the ship almost invisible.
There was loads of weird stuff about playing with matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically they managed
Like
to figure out.
science-wise.
Yeah, they managed to find out a way to do it, and they successfully, when they switched on these magnets, it created a field and basically rendered the ship invisible. So
Yeah.
anyone with a naked eye or any kind
It
of.
disappeared. A
Yeah.
whole giant SS-class ship disappeared.
So because of the magnetic field, also radars wouldn't pick up the ship or anything. Like it would become invisible completely. Basically, the experiment went off. There was a crew of about 100 people on board, I think around that much. And basically, the ship set sail on a voyage to test how good it was and how long it would work for, and if it was capable.
No, it was a test.
Yeah, it was a test voyage. So basically, this ship set sail with all the crew and the captain on board, and it was supposed to be on a round trip trip for a day, where it would go around the coastline and see how well the test worked out. So basically, they set sail. About an hour and a half into the journey, the U.S. Army the U.S. Naval port lost communication with the ship. They couldn't get through to the comms. They couldn't get through to what would have been the onboard phones or anything like that to get through to the actual ship to find out what was going on. So after a couple of weeks, eventually the ship was announced missing, and they had no idea where it was. They did an investigation into it. They sent other ships out to find it and never did. So they just presumed that it had gotten missing or sunk.
Like the goddamn conspiracy. Oh.
Yeah. So basically,
Oh, we lost the ship.
they moved on and decided that maybe something went wrong with the experiment, so they cancelled it. And basically, around 1980, 1984, 5, there was by a local dock in maybe China or somewhere like that. There was like a bar next to the
No,
docks.
I don't think it was China, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, one night there was some people at this bar, and a few naval crew walked into the bar with like the uniform that they were wearing the day they left. You know, it was the uniform from
It was
the
as if it
Second
was
World
them.
War. Yeah, and they came in very confused, disorientated, and they were asking for help. And they were in a blind panic, like screaming and begging people to come and help them. And they said that they were on a ship doing a test.
Yeah, but I thought they didn't know.
Oh.
They were more confused than panicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
They were just in the background being the scene. They wasn't causing the scene.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like they tried, like they were confused and they were trying to figure out what was going on. And so some people decided to follow them, and outside, parked at the dock, was the naval ship itself that had gone missing in 1943, I think it was, during the test. And what they found when they saw the ship was probably one of the most terrifying things anyone could ever see.
Bodies in the ship freaked me
So
out.
the bodies,
There was like
people were
people.
merged.
By the way, people on the crew were all young. They were young
Yeah,
people.
they were in
And
there like
there was like
between like the age of 18 to 21.
yeah,
22,
and they
yeah.
were, and they died of heart attacks.
Yeah, they were. So basically, they went outside and they saw the ship docked up, and there was people fused with the metal of the ship, like hanging off the like say
Legs
the hull.
inside.
Yeah, so they were like fused to the metal, like organically fused to the metal, like something had gone wrong and their DNA had been changed to fuse with the ship. And there was people that were fused with the ship that were still alive screaming. There was people that had heart attacks and died, strokes and everything. And basically what they think is when they activate the ship, about an hour into the voyage, something malfunctioned, and they seem to think that maybe the ship had time travelled rather than become invisible.
Yeah.
And when they switched it on at the docks to try it, they hadn't left it on long enough for it to charge up to basically send out this impulse.
And the
that
reason
would-
they knew this, I don't know if they have photographic evidence, but
Yeah.
there was people saying they saw the people that
you
were on
can-
the ship.
if you go on Google and look up, you can actually find photos that they took of the ship.
Of those sailors as
with
well.
with the sailors fused to the ship, and
No, but and the sailors in the bar.
yeah, and there's pictures of the sailors in the bar, and basically they reckon that when it was out of the sea, it had been on, the magnetic field had been on long enough that it charged up an impulse that basically sent them through like a portal, and they ended up coming out the other side at the docks, like docked
And the weird
up.
thing is, Einstein had shut it down.
Yeah, and
They covered up everything. They shut the experiment down.
Einstein's theory on relativity, he had at the time, the Germans were also trying to use the same theory to create a kind of teleportation machine so that they could send troops from Germany into areas they wanted to without being detected.
No, I think originally it was just for a cloak, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the Germans were working on the same technology around the same time as
The
as
Germans were up to some funny
teleportation.
stuff.
And it was Einstein's, because Einstein was German, wasn't he? There was two Einsteins. There was one that
There's two Einsteins.
there was one that built the A-bomb. The guy that built the A-bomb was also the guy that was coming up with a theory of relativity in using technology to build time travel machines and teleportation devices and cloaking device technology. And they think that maybe because he sent out a warning letter to the American embassy for their naval fleet because he heard that they were building a ship, and he said that it could have caused some kind of rupture and almost open up a portal to another, obviously a time or a dimension or something like that. And so his theory obviously became true, and this ship had accidentally teleported like 40 years into the future. And it was almost instantaneous. Like the sailors had only been on the ship for about an hour and a half when it obviously out at sea, but the teleportation or the time jump was almost instantaneous. But the explosion itself caused the DNA of the people on board to change their DNA structure, and they were melting and fusing to the ship because of the impact of the blast from the magnetic pulse.
Yeah.
And basically they still have I think the ship's been scrapped now, or they sunk it with the people fused to the ship because they couldn't remove the people from the ship because they
It was
tried.
all covered up.
They tried cutting the metal off the ship to get the people out that was still alive, and they were genetically fused to the ship. Like
And
their
a few of
organs were part of the ship.
A few of the sailors got the forwarded flag about the family saying they were KIA, killed in action.
Yeah.
When really, it was just a botched experiment. They don't know what the hell went on.
Yeah. And basically, there's a whole theory about the fact that they sunk the ship to hide the evidence of what happened. But people still to this day have evidence, photo evidence of the sailors at the bar in their 1940s naval uniform, which had been out of commission and recalled after the experiment because they had a separate uniform made for this experiment. Because it was going to be like a, you know, like we have a royal fleet, we have a separate uniform for a royal fleet compared to a normal naval thingy, yeah? Like we have the Gurkhas that wear their own separate uniform, you know. It was a separate uniform given to them as part of the experiment. And that uniform was only made, and the right amount were made for the staff on that ship. And people in that bar were wearing that uniform, and they never supposedly found the ship, it disappeared. So they have no explanation to how they have this photo of these people in this bar wearing these uniforms. People have been digging into a lot of the FBI, CIA, and government files that have been released, you know, because after a few years they become relative to the public, and the public can view them once they're over with and declassified. And people have been online looking into a lot of stuff behind it. And they
Alright, well, we just took a break, but the SSL story, that's got to be at least 4. It's 4 out of 5 sketch.
yeah.
Yeah. Imagine being fused with a ship.
Yeah, and plus, I'm no physicist or anything, so it makes it more weirder because I
That's
can't
fun.
understand the actual technology.
Yeah.
And they have real evidence to prove that happened.
Exactly.
It kind of scares
It
me that-
happened.
that is possible that could happen. You could just, you know.
It's not possible, it did happen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
No, but it is weirder because it's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, shh. Fucking hell.
Samuel, he's killed him.
You just took that whole fire on hacking. Sorry, hacking. It's at least a 3 or 4.
Yeah, a 3 or a 4.
But yeah, I'll tell you what though, I don't know if you guys know, but we speak about conspiracy a lot when I'm live streaming or anything, but I think that's got to be my favourite, the USSR.
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Mine was Yellow Pass.
Yellow Pass.
That's
Yeah.
what
USSR sounds like some Russian.
It was.
Oh, okay.
Back in the USSR.
Alright, copyright.
Back in
Alright, so
back in the-
yeah, I think it's a 3 out of 5. What about you, Adrian?
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
You need to understand time more, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we need to.
What,
It's your time
just,
travel.
just acting needs to understand time more. Just.
Wait, if they were all fused together, does that mean they will share an orgasm?
No, they
What
refused
the
the ship.
This is what he think. This is what he's thinking about in his spare time. We just took a toilet break, and he was like, "This
That's
is
what was
Brandon on
running
the
through his
toilet,
mind.
thinking about whether they shared an orgasm."
It's been about 30 minutes, and that's the thought he started.
But still.
Look at that knob in that wood.
Alright, guys. So basically, 3 out of 5 sketch. USSR.
3 out of 5 knobs.
Einstein's in the mix. You got a lot of powerful people. It's a really weird one. USSR's a weird one. So we've gone through the Bermuda Triangle, the weird, creepy forest story, and
USSR.
exactly. So next up, we have Brandon's story,
Hang on.
which is going to be a spicy one.
Pizza time.
Oh,
Oh,
is it?
Oh, okay, we'll be right back after a short break of pizza, I guess.
I think I've got a lot of things to say about that.
Oh, we all just took a break. They've got pizza and garlic bread on the go. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Hit a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And now it's Brandon's one. How are you feeling, Brandon?
Oh, warm and hard. It's great.
What is your conspiracy, good sir?
Yeah, so today we're talking about the Neuralink, Elon Musk. and
The
how it's gonna
Neuralink
change-
implant.
Yeah, and it's going to change everything. 100% it's going to change everything.
It will for you.
So-
You're freaking.
So it's
hentai
not
anime
fucking
girls.
mine. I'm telling a story here.
So it's
Be
not,
serious for a second.
it's not so much as a conspiracy, but it is. I agree
It's
with
not
Brandon. It is
conspiracy,
pretty
it's more like
spooky
truth.
because you know
Oh,
it's
I'm
getting
getting it.
something implanted in your brain.
I'm getting it. 100%. No hesitation, right? Wait, right, Elon Musk's done tests and that. Right, and he says like he did it on the pigs and the monkeys and that, how it makes us look like monkeys is smarter and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
There's a crazy
Yeah,
video
you
where
can
there's.
connect it with
Have you
mine.
seen the video?
There's a theory of that, apparently, like Elon Musk was
No, like, this is
invented
perfect.
Really?
It's all been invented by like people who like the Illuminati and shit and all like these weird like secretive people.
So they created Twitter.
Same with Bill Gates, all of them.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there's a theory going on. Like,
What?
None of them actually invented anything.
The Neura implant, right? Monkeys can play ping pong without even a controller. They can do it.
Oh yeah. Let me slide in quickly, pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's monkeys or apes. I get confused sometimes. 'Cause,
Okay.
you know, but like they are so smart.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they can do like puzzles and stuff, and like it's crazy how smart they are.
It
So
is-
when they were testing on the monkeys, they would think
Yeah,
they're just really
Yeah, now
smart.
think of that with humans and playing
Exactly.
like, it's like playing future games. Like, no, we should be able to do it. And plus, apparently, it's going to be able to help like disabled people as well, like people who can't move their legs because their brain
Yeah.
waves aren't connected to it. Apparently,
But they'll
it can
just
help
connect,
with walking. Yeah, because it reconnects the nerves apparently. So it can help people with speech dialects, quadriplegic people, people in wheelchairs, stuff like that. And it's going through human testing. Isn't it?
So, why is it a scary story?
It's not. It's
It's
more
not a
like
scary
thinking about
story,
the
but it's
future.
scary thinking about how we can have it
How
implanted.
it's think of how far.
I'll tell you-
Talk about the fact
Oh, well.
that if it went wrong.
Cons are right because you think about it. Right, think how fast.
Expensive.
Think how far we've evolved in 10 years. Right, to 2011, we just got the PS3, PS4, right?
Yeah.
And like the technology, like smartphones were terrible.
And
now look, 10 years in the future, we're getting fucking neural implants. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is complications with it because, like, say,
I
what
mean,
if there was
I've
a
seen
war?
Black Mirror.
Yeah, but what if there's a war
Yeah.
and there's an EMP? Would that fry your brain?
Exactly.
Right? What if,
Yeah.
if you get hacked? Then what? Can they just take over your body?
I don't
Like,
know
what's going on? Because they can control your mind.
I think it's pretty
Then you're
spooky the fact
convinced
that
Russia
you're
can
all
get
you are
banking
going to be all
control.
controlled, or you're going to be part of the sheep.
What happens if they make you see like things you don't want to see?
Exactly. It's
Fuck
creepy.
that.
Or things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
What about adverts as well? You get adverts and you have to pay
Oh,
for premium
Mirror.
service.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's just not much.
Yeah, like
I
you're
wouldn't do
walking down and there's just an advert in your way. and you
Speaking
can't
about
see it.
adverts, there's a break.
Hey, welcome back from the mid-roll, or if you skipped it 5 seconds in because it's a skip ads thing, or if you've got YouTube Premium. Hello.
But if you have an implant, then you can skip it.
Me and
Yeah.
Sam are still
But I
eating
think-
pizza.
Right, think
It's
about it,
going
right?
very
We're in
well.
2022 and it's going through human testing, right? Which means like within like a couple of years, it could be a reality. And if this is how fast we're developing with like neural implants and stuff,
Yeah.
just think what could happen in another 10 years.
Exactly.
What's going
And,
on?
and you think about it where the government only wants to show us stuff that's being passed. Like
Have you seen the stuff outside Area 51?
exactly
Coming in?
the
You can see
technology
fucking
that they've
flying
literally
up.
created,
Yeah.
implants alone. They've only released the public like 50 years before.
It's really cyberpunk in like 20 years and 10 years.
It's Syndicate before.
Syndicate.
Yeah, that game. That's why you have a brain implant. Pretty much you have to, the objective is to get the brain implant in your head. I don't know why it does it. Like, it's a long...
What is it, like a
Fucking
sun-
that was a good anecdote,
What is
wasn't
it, like a lily or a sunflower or a daisy?
Oh no, pretty much there's like an implant you have to get in the game. Put it in your own brain.
No, they slot shit into their heads and sometimes.
Wait, you didn't do so the chip. What is it going to look like? Is it going to be in the brain? And you're going to
No,
be
no,
in
it's
the,
going to be in a stem.
In your
like
neuro
here.
stem.
so you can't connect anything to it. You're not going to look like a robot. You look like a cyborg.
No, you won't.
I mean, you're technically a cyborg when you get if you get it on.
Yeah, it goes about here-ish.
Yeah.
On the back of your neck, just as you know whether your spine is, central nervous system. So it can connect to like say the people who can't move their legs when they can. Right? But we just think.
But then what happens if you die and you have it in your brain?
Come back up to the cloud.
Well,
Exactly.
to be
That's some
fair-
chappy.
No. To be fair, when you die, they probably remove the neurochip during an autopsy.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, if you die, could you still be uploaded into another chip? Or like...
No,
or-
because
Have you seen that movie
It's
by the
not-
way? When it
it's
gets
not-
uploaded, like the prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get uploaded into a new
No, no, no.
body.
So I don't think the neurochip will be in your. The thing is, the consciousness, the human consciousness, is a natural thing. You can.
Yeah.
You
don't fucking know
they've
that.
proved-
You
no,
can't
no.
rate it.
They've proven that.
Sam,
nothing
I've
can
seen Black
recreate-
Mirror. I've seen Black Mirror.
Okay.
My point is, they've already
On the brand.
scientifically proven you can't recreate a human consciousness.
Imagine if it's
Even if
all
you
that
used to
online, I'll
upload
be
it to
there
a
in 2
computer, it
seconds.
would be scrambled and it wouldn't work. So even after you died, there'd be no way to upload your consciousness to a
No,
cloud.
that's cap. I
They,
think
they
you
could upload your memories to a cloud, maybe, but not your consciousness, because your consciousness is a natural
I reckon
thing
they
that
can make
fades when
it.
your body does.
I reckon you.
So you're saying it's like your soul?
Yeah, your consciousness is your soul.
Right, okay, I reckon what would happen, right? You know, I reckon as far as it would go is you die, but like obviously they could make an AI out of your memory, so it literally like act like you.
Yeah, exactly.
The closest you could ever get to copying a consciousness is if you uploaded every single one of someone's memories and put it into an AI. They could probably generate a close to exact copy of you because they could look at your memories and the way you act and recreate it, but it would never be a natural consciousness.
I think they could do it. I think they will do it. If they can put a Neuralink brain in 2022, I mean, we
they
say
could have already done it.
they could have already done it.
Nah,
I mean, if we're saying that,
No.
that it's
No.
finally started coming out.
Yeah.
Imagine what they did 10 years ago in Area 51 or
That's
like.
ridiculous. There's got to be. I reckon they're close to it, or they've already done it and it's classified as a right.
All right, I'll tell you what. Ashton, what do you think of this chip conspiracy
It's,
stuff? Like, do you reckon there's gonna be a lot of spooky things surrounding it, or is it just gonna be?
I think you're.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, the thing
I mean,
is,
either way, it's gonna happen.
I won't be getting it. I won't die.
I'll get it.
You don't want chip. You don't want to look at anything you want.
No.
You don't want to play games
The
with
thing
your
is,
fucking
what-
mind.
What if
How
it,
cool that
wait,
would be?
wait. What if it becomes so real to you that you lose touch with reality and you forget which
Because
world
that's
you're
brilliant,
in?
bro. I could imagine I had that chip and then they make a fucking Sword Art Online game, bro. I'm in there. I'm not coming fucking back out.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not coming out.
If you know Sword Art Online was real,
Yeah.
and all those people went into it, but if you die, you die. I would go into
I
it.
would go in.
I would go.
Bro,
Go
do you know how cool
on.
that would be? Fuck it.
I would go into it.
That would be cool. I would love it.
Listen, I love SAO.
Bro, fucking the
But I would
dragons.
never.
You could do whatever the fuck magic. Bro, you could change your gears like that, bro. Yeah. Fucking amazing.
Okay, what about if it's SAO, yeah, so you're in an open base, an in-game world, sandbox game like SAO, but you don't have powers. You have to train yourself to become...
Oh,
Yeah,
do
but
it.
what? So you can unlock abilities?
No, 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 no.
Fucking go for it.
No. You have to do it like it's a real world, but like, you... So
Sam, if you're saying I have to train to ride a dragon, I'm going to do it.
no, there's no dragons or anything. Like,
Then
if
it's not a game then, is it?
That's not a
You
game,
can't
that's
do
real
that.
life.
Exactly, right? Listen.
So you're basically
no,
saying-
No, but it's an in-game world, so if you battle people and kill them in the game, they don't die in real life, they just respawn.
That's a shit game. I'm not being funny, that's a fucking shit game. Yeah, I'm not paying £100 for that.
Infinite
Fuck off.
possibilities.
Infinite possibilities with
Have a
what?
real world where you can never die.
With what? You just said there's no special
You
abilities,
could
there's no
literally-
dragons.
You could go in this world, climb to the top of the Empire State Building, do a fucking 360 no scope
But
backflip,
you'll die.
and then respawn again.
But not with the attributes you've grown to.
No, you respawn with everything you had before.
With what? Because
It's
you
like
said there's no
GTA.
monsters.
So, you know, like in GTA, you build up your strength and your stamina from running around.
That's so
when you
shit.
die, you respawn at a hospital, but you still get to keep those stats.
No, I don't want that game, bro.
Nah, it's not selling me.
Nah. all you can do is jump off buildings and go, whee!
Who wants to jump off their Empire State Building anyway?
We're going to sell you a game. It's just like real life, but you can jump off a building and respawn in 20 minutes. You're cool. Don't worry about it. Like, yeah, that's a shit game, bro.
Alright, anyway, I guess we'll leave it there. We went for the Bermuda Triangle, creepy stories to tell in the dark, went for the USSR, and the brain Neuralink. Alright, we got the Bermuda Triangle, the ship plant, Mary Celeste, the creepy forest story, and then the USSR. What do you think what one stood out? What creeps you out the most out of all the stories?
It's gonna be the Merciless.
Mine's got to be. It's either the USSR or the Mary Celeste.
I mean, the Bermuda Triangle was pretty creepy.
Bermuda Triangle's creepy, but again, with a lot of science and explanation.
I'll say the Merciless is not. Oh yeah, still the Merciless.
Imagine that, you just see some poor guy's legs sticking out the hull of the ship. Alright guys, let me know what you think down below. Yeah, I think it was either the USSR, Mary Celeste. Bermuda Triangle was pretty creepy though.
I just think people should avoid going on boats.
That's what we've learned. Do not
The
go
two
this.
scary stories involve the boat.
Yeah, it's just boats.
Wait, I've got a part for this. Give me 1 second.
He was saying because this is the most embarrassing moment.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're into my thing, don't forget to ring my ding.
Hey!
Fuck yeah.
See you boys in a bit. Future Harry has to watch this.
I hope he keeps this in the video.
No, don't.
Harry, keep this moment in the video.